Reverend Hale appears, loaded down with half a dozen heavy books. Pray you, someone take these.
Mr. Hale, oh, it's good to see you again. My, they're heavy.
They must be. They're weighted with authority.
Well, you do come prepared.
We shall need hard study if it comes to tracking down the old boy. You cannot be Rebecca Nurse. I am, sir. How do you know me? It's strange how I knew you, but I suppose you look as such a good soul should. We have heard of all your great charities in Beverly.
Do you know this gentleman, Mr. Thomas Putnam? And his good wife, Anne?
Putnam, I had not expected such distinguished company, sir.
It does not seem to help us today, Mr. Hale. We look to you to come to our house and save our child.
Your child ails too. Her soul seems float away. She sleeps and she walks.
She cannot eat.
Cannot eat? Do you men have afflicted children?
No, these are farmers. John Proctor.
He don't believe in witches.
I never spoke on witches one way or the other. Will you come, Giles?
No, John, I think not. I have some few queer questions of my own to ask this fellow.
I've heard you to be a sensible man, Mr. Hale. I hope you'll leave some of it in Salem.
Proctor goes. Hale stands embarrassed for an instant.
Will you look at my daughter, sir? She has tried to leap out the window. We discovered her this morning on the high road, waving her arms as though she'd fly.
Tries to fly.
She cannot bear to hear the Lord's name, Mr. Hale. That's a sure sign of witchcraft afloat.
No. Let me instruct you. We cannot look to superstition in this. The devil's precise. The marks of his presence are as definite as stone. And I must tell you all that I shall not proceed unless you are prepared to believe me if I should find no bruise of hell upon her.
It is agreed, sir. It is agreed. We will abide by your judgment.
Good. Now, sir, what were your first warning of this strangeness?
Why, sir, I discovered her and my niece and 10 or 12 of the other girls dancing in the forest last night.
You permit dancing?
No, it were secret.
Mr. Pierce's slave is not a conjuring, sir.
We cannot be sure of that, Goody Ann.
I know it, sir. I sent my child. She should learn from Tituba, who murdered her sisters. Goody Ann? You sent a child to conjure up the dead? Let God blame me, not you, Rebecca. I'll not have you judging me anymore. Is it natural work to lose 7 children before they live a day? Shh. 7 dead in childbirth. Her voice breaks. She looks up to him. Silence. Hale's impressed. Paris looks to him. He goes to his books, opens one, turns pages, and reads. All wait avidly.
What book is that?
Oh, it's there, sir. Here is all the invisible world, caught, defined, and calculated. In these books, the devil stands stripped of all his brute disguises. Here are your familiar spirits, your incubi and succubi, your witches that go by land, by air, and by sea, your wizards of the night and of the day. Have no fear now. We shall find out if he has come among us, and I mean to crush him utterly if he's shown his face. Starts with a bang. Will it hurt the child, sir? I cannot tell. If she's truly in the devil's grip, we might have to rip and tear to get her free. I think I'll go then. I'm too old for this.
Why, Rebecca, we may open the boil of all our troubles today.
Let us hope for that. I go to God for you, sir.
I hope you do not mean we go to Satan here.
I wish I knew.
Come, Mr. Hale, let's get on. Sit you here. Mr. Hale, I have always wanted to ask a learned man, what signifies the reading of strange books?
What books?
I cannot tell. She hides them, Hale. Who does this?
Who does this, indeed?
Martha, my wife. I have waked at night many a time and found her in a corner reading of a book. Now, what do you make of that?
Why, that's not necessarily...
It discomfits me. Last night, mark this, I tried and could not say my prayers. And then she closed her book and walks out of the house, and suddenly, mark this, I could pray again.
Ah, the stoppage of prayer. That is strange. I'll speak further on that with you.
I'm not saying she's touched the devil now, but I'd admire to know what books she reads and why she hides them. She'll not answer me, you see.
We'll discuss it. Now mark me, if the devil is in her, you will witness some frightful wonders in this room, so please to keep your wits about you. Mr. Putnam, stand close in case she flies. Now, Betty dear, will you sit up? Can you hear me? I'm John Hale, Minister of Beverly. I've come to help you, dear. Do you remember my 2 little girls in Beverly?
How can it be the devil? Why would he choose my house to strike? We have all manner of licentious people in the village.
What victory would the devil have to win a soul already bad? It's the best the devil wants, and who better than the minister?
That's deep, Mr. Paris. Deep, deep.
Betty. Answer, Mr. Hale. Betty.
Does someone afflict you, child? It need not be a woman, mind you, or a man. Perhaps some bird invisible to the others comes to you. Perhaps a pig, a mouse, or any beast at all. Is there some figure bids you fly? Abigail, what sort of dancing were you doing with her in the forest?
Why, common dancing is all.
I think I ought to say that I saw a kettle in the grass where they were dancing.
That were only soup.
What sort of soup were in the kettle, Abigail?
Why, it were beans and lentils, I think. And
Did you notice, any living thing in the kettle? A mouse, perhaps, a spider, a frog?
I do believe there were some movement in the soup.
that jumped in. We never put it in.
What jumped in?
Why, a very little frog jumped.
A frog, Abby!
Abigail, it may be your cousin is dying. Did you call the devil last night?
I never called him. Tituba! Tituba!
She called the devil?
I should like to speak with Tituba.
Goody Ann, will you bring her up?
How did she call him?
I know not. She spoke Barbados.
Did you feel any strangeness when she called him? A sudden cold wind, perhaps? A trembling below the ground?
I didn't see no devil. Betty! Wake up! Betty! Betty!
You cannot evade me, Abigail. Did your cousin drink of the brew in that kettle?
She never drank it.
Did you drink it?
No, sir.
Did Tituba ask you to drink it?
She tried, but I refused.
Why are you concealing? Have you sold your soul to Lucifer?
I never sold myself. I'm a good girl. I'm a proper girl.
Mrs. Putnam enters with Tituba, and instantly Abigail points at Tituba.
She made me do it. She made Betty do it.
Abby!
She makes me drink blood.
Blood?
My baby's blood?
No, chicken blood. I give she chicken blood.
Why can she not wake? Woman, have you enlisted these children for the devil?
No, sir. I don't talk with no devil.
Why can she not wake? Are you silencing this child?
I love me, Betty.
You have sent your spirit out upon this child, have you not? Are you gathering souls for the devil?
She sends her spirit on me in church. She makes me laugh at prayer.
She have often laughed at prayer.
She comes to me every night to go and to drink blood.
You beg me to conjure. She beg me make charm.
Don't lie. She comes to me while I sleep. She's always making me dream corruptions.
Why do you say that, Abby?
Sometimes I wake and find myself standing in the open doorway and not a stitch on my body. I always hear her laughing in my sleep. I hear her singing her Barbados song and tempting me with...
Mr. Reverend, I never.
Tituba, I want you to wake this child.
I have no power on this child, sir.
You most certainly do, and you will free her from it now. When did you compact with the devil?
I don't compact with no devil.
You will confess yourself, or I will take you out and whip you to your death, Tituba.
This woman must be hanged. She must be taken and hanged.
No, don't hang Tituba. I tell him I don't desire to work for him, sir.
The devil?
Then you saw him. Now, Tituba, I know that when we bind ourselves to hell, it is very hard to break with it. We're going to help you tear yourself free.
Mr. Reverend, I do believe somebody else bewitching these children.
Who?
I don't know, sir, but the devil got him numerous witches.
Does he? Tituba, look into my eyes. Come look into me. You would be a good Christian woman, would you not, Tituba?
I, sir, a good Christian woman.
And you love these little children.
Oh, yes, sir, I don't desire to hurt these little children.
And you love God, Tituba?
I love God with all my being.
Now in God's holy name,
Bless him.
into his glory,
Bless him.
into his glory,
Eternal glory. Bless him. Bless God.
open yourself, Tituba. Open yourself and let God's holy light shine on you.
Oh, bless the Lord.
When the devil comes to you, does he ever come with another person? Perhaps another person in the village, someone you know?
Who came with him?
Sarah Good? Did you ever see Sarah Good with him? Or Osborne?
Was it man or woman came with him?
Man or woman was woman.
What woman? A woman, you said. What woman?
It was black dark, and
You could see him? Why could you not see her?
well, they was always talking. They was always running around and carrying on.
You mean out of Salem? Salem witches.
I believe so. Yes, sir.
Tituba, you must have no fear to tell us who they are. Do you understand? We will protect you. The devil can never overcome a minister. You know that, do you not?
I, sir. Oh, I do.
You have confessed yourself to witchcraft, and that speaks a wish to come to heaven's side, and we will bless you, Tituba.
Oh, God bless you, Mr. Hale.
You are God's instrument put in our hands to discover the devil's agents among us. You were selected, Tituba. You were chosen to help us cleanse our village, so speak utterly, Tituba. Turn your back on him and face God, Tituba, and God will protect you.
Oh, God, protect Tituba.
Who came to you with the devil? 2, 3, 4, how many?
There was 4. There was 4.
Who? Their names.
Oh, how many times he bid me kill you, Mr. Pettis?
Kill me?
He said, Mr. Pettis must be killed. Mr. Pettis, no goodly man. Mr. Pettis, mean man and no gentleman. And he bid me rise out of my bed and cut your throat. But I tell him no. I don't hate that man. I don't want to kill that man. But you say, you work for me, Tituba, and I make you free. I give you pretty dress to wear and put you way up high in the air. And you gonna fly back to Barbados, and I say, you lie, devil. You lie. And then he come one stormy night to me, and he said, look, I have white people belong to me. And I look, and there was Goody Good.
Sarah Good.
Aye, sir, and Goody Osborne.
Goody Osborne were midwife to me 3 times. I begged you, Thomas, did I not? I begged you not to call Osborne because I feared her. My baby's always shriveled in her hands. Take courage. You must give us all their names. How can you bear to see this child suffering? Look at her, Tituba. Look at her God-given innocence. Her soul is so tender. We must protect her, Tituba. The devil is out and preying upon her like a beast upon the flesh of the pure lamb. God will bless you for your help. Abigail rises.
To open myself. I want the light of God. I want the sweet love of Jesus. I danced for the devil. I saw him. I wrote in his book. I go back to Jesus. I kiss his hand. I saw Sarah Good with the devil. I saw Goody Osborne with the devil. I saw Bridget Bishop with the devil.
As she's speaking, Betty is rising from the bed, a fever in her eyes, and picks up the chant.
I saw George Jacobs with the devil. I saw Goody Howe with the devil.
She speaks. She speaks.
Glory to God, it is broken. They're free.
I saw Martha Bellows with the devil.
I saw Goody Simmer with the devil.
Marshal. I'll call the marshal.
I saw Alice Barrow with the devil.
Let the marshal bring irons.
I saw Goody Hawkins with the devil.
I saw Goody Bibber with the devil.
I saw Goody Booth with the devil.